So here we go. This is, look, you've got some, I think this is glue down flooring. If you want, you can do click in. It's going to probably be better in the long run. Glue down's fine. The summers here are going to eventually cause it to split and separate, and that's just going to happen. So just be aware. I wouldn't have done the glue down personally, but it is what it is. Colors, everything looks fine. So this is just a quick and gritty rundown of what we see. At some point, the outlets need to be replaced. You see here, these are 2-prong. And this house has one issue that's pretty big, and that's the fact it's on fuses. If you can, avoid any house with fuses. But as we go through here, everything's looking pretty solid. I wish the utilities were on. One, because it's very cold in here. And second, because it's kind of dark. But this is just the modest rehab here. You know, these are original cabinets. This probably needs to be replaced. I would do that if it were me. You got here, it actually vents outside. That's always good. Cabinets, these are old, cheap, doesn't matter. Countertops, fine. This is perfectly good for most tenants. They're going to be fine with it. I wish these had been replaced as well instead of being 2 separate colors. But this is a newer Formica anyway. It's not very beat up. There's no reason to replace it right away. Over here, so the kitchen's fine. It's just a big square. You got a little pantry. Whatever. Look, people have to have them. So this is where your dryer is set up, and then your washer. Not a big fan of the kitchen connections, but in Fraser it's still very common. But you do have a big, second room, bonus room, den, whatever you want to call it. Looks good in here. Big double doors. Those can cause issues in the future, or really at any time, just because they can leak. They can cause leaks. But it's hard to tell because it's rainy and icy outside. This one's quite a bit elevated, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. If you see those level with the ground, they're likely going to cause a lot of problems. But here you see they painted over the panel. That's completely fine. This is Fraser. The rent's going to be pretty good, but not great. And tenants are going to be a little rough around the place. You can get away with stuff like that. Bathroom, nothing special. It doesn't have to be. They painted the tile. They re-enameled the tub. They redid the hardware for everything. New pedestal sink. Toilet's a few years old. That's fine. No one's going to have issues with that. That's all you got to do. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to come in, overspend, retile everything, pull out. It's not going to get you a huge rent in Fraser. This is an area where if the house looks good like this, you should be getting $1,100 to $1,200 a month. Hopefully, you can do a little bit more Section 8. You do have these rental lights in here. I'm a fan of putting ceiling fans in every room. You don't have to. I get it. They are expensive to put in, at least comparatively to those, right? And tenants will tear them up, but people like them. It helps them. You want it to be at the right level of comfort where they want to stay for several years. So bedroom number 2, pretty decent size, probably maybe 11 by 10, 11 by 11. Bedroom number 3, this is the primary. So this one does have a bathroom. I believe it's a half. Yep. But every little bit helps in Fraser. A lot of the houses here are going to be 3-1s. So having anything extra, anything at all, is going to be a big bonus. Just checking the closet out. Furnace, still here. It's actually a pretty nice unit, but it's a little bit older. But if it's well maintained, it can run for a long time. So overall, it looks like they have I don't think that's the right size. Oh, it is. They just have it. I think they were going to replace it and didn't. Let me do that. So, overall, why am I doing this? This is what you want your Fraser investment property to look like. It does not have to be fancy. This one helps a little bit. It's in a cove. That's always good. It has a carport, which is good. It has 2 storages. I'm sorry, 1 storage, but it has like a connecting storage. I'll go show you that. And we can check those fuses out. Again, the fuses, that you have to avoid those if you can. It's going to make selling the place a lot harder. So, hold on. Or a little creative workaround, apparently. So back here, this is what causes problems. Fuses, insurance companies hate it, tenants hate them, electricians hate them, I hate them, a lot of people hate them. It is what it is. It looks like you got a main breaker. I'm not sure what that's for. I don't like flipping switches. Hell, you got a dryer vent there. If you want to put your dryer back here, I don't even know if you can. Where's it going to plug in? So it's got to go in the kitchen. I'm not 100% sure what that's for. There's your clean out. Just some storage. This is pretty home built. You can tell it's maybe not the most professionally built thing in the world, but Overall, we'll come out here and look at the bright, not so bright, I guess, Fraser sky. You can see the mist happening as it rains on the ice. You know, the ice has been on the ground for almost a week and a half straight. And now we're starting to see that finally go away a little bit. Today's gonna be pretty warm, around 50. We're glad we're getting some thaw. But it's probably also gonna freeze overnight. So a lot of people ask me stuff like this, these random retaining walls, things like that. I mean, you can worry about them, you cannot worry about them. You can see this is quite a tall one. I mean, it's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall, and it's holding in a lot of dirt, holding in a lot of earth. That's what you want to get rid of the little trees, the shit that grows. Sorry, language, I know. The stuff that grows between, like here, that you got to make sure you really stay on top of that. But are they like a huge problem in the long run? Sure, if you had the property for 30, 40 years, yeah, you're probably gonna have issues with it. It may make it a little bit more difficult to sell. I'm gonna shut this behind us, so it's probably gonna get dark in here. Nice and spooky. But it's like a huge concern. If it's not causing tenant livability issues, probably I just wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, overall, this is nice, solid house. We love to see it. Again, Fraser, carports are pretty common. Garages a lot less so. I like it because you've got the little cove here. It's around the bend. Neighbor, I'm pretty sure they live. You know, that's an owner occupant. I'm pretty sure. It's always nice to see when people care for the property. So yeah, this one could possibly even go owner occupant. I mean, we are missing a condenser. I got to find out what the story with that is. It looks like the cage is on its side. I hate to see that. Hopefully it's not stolen and it's just been pulled for management. But yeah, it's pretty much it. Just a quick video. You know, if you're doing a rehab, and if you have a property in Fraser and you are doing a rehab, if it's in an area like this, a nicer part of Fraser, then just keep it like this. Don't do anything special. Don't come in, completely redo kitchen, bath, all that, with all this stuff, high-end stuff. The market rent can't support that type of rehab. Your expected rent will not go up for that. So be careful on how much you spend on the rehab. It needs to look like this. This may be slightly better. You can do some things differently, but for the most part, this is good. Leave it. If you want to update electrical, do that, especially if you're going to sell at some point in the future, because that's something that's going to be a big sticking point for inspectors and appraisers, and therefore loans. So that maybe even something she will have to do, the owner of this property, as she puts it on the market. But again, don't overdo your rehab. Keep it simple, especially in this neighborhood. The rents are good. Houses are somewhat affordable still for owner occupants and investors. What you don't want to do is take something that could cash flow really well and then dump too much money into it on the front end to where it's just not going to be profitable for a couple of years. So that's it for this one. I will try to do more of these. Hopefully I've got some really messed up properties to walk soon, where the poor owner just, it's not his fault. He got scammed. And I kind of want to cover those as a horror story and a caution for stuff like that. So hopefully he'll let me do that. I need permission from him to do that. But yeah, that's going to be a fun one, or maybe two if I get to do that. But other than that, hopefully we'll get thawed out soon.